Okay, good evening, everyone. For those in the room, if you weren't ready for St. Patrick's Day before you came here, you are now. So. And for our virtual members, quick thumbs up in chat. The sound is okay. Great. Okay, so February flew by, at least for some of us. So it feels like we were just in the room, but it's good to see a full room here in person and a healthy audience online via Zoom. First, our apologies. The religious holidays, both for the Jewish faith and today with the Catholic faith, have came on the first Wednesday of the month. So obviously they didn't schedule around us, but because of our contract with the restaurant and our unwritten rule with our sister chapters, we can't necessarily move the meeting. So we do apologize for those who celebrate Ash Wednesday and the start of the Lenten season today. For those who are watching on demand, next Ash Wednesday won't be the first Wednesday of the month. So at least we won't be too straight. Our scholarship program is quickly coming up on our deadline. So to address that, we'll invite our Vice President of Special Projects, Mr. Jim Steckel.
Well, hello, everyone. I'm Jim Steckel. I've been doing the scholarship program for our chapter for about 10 years now, and it's been rewarding. We do have applications in, so if you know anyone who's a senior in Montgomery County school system, or if you are a relative and have a senior in the Montgomery County school system, please tell them about our scholarship program. The application is on our chapter website, and it's under news. So click on news and you'll see the whole application. You can print it out. It's been sent to the Montgomery County, I forgot the name of the office, but they have a listing of all the scholarships that seniors can apply for. Ours is on there. So we're going to have our drawing at the next meeting, beginning of April. So have everyone that might be interested in it get the applications filled out. It has a 10-question quiz on PMI related information, project management related information. And we'll have a drawing right here, and I'll impose on our next speaker to see if they would care to pick the winners. So thank you. That's it.
Okay, plug for our next dinner meeting, which will be Wednesday, April 2nd, not April Fool's Day. So that's good for us. So that'll be Miss Melissa D. Macaro, who will be presenting on how project management can develop your thought leadership. No one's born a thought leader. I think through experience and working with others, we develop kind of our thought strategies and perspectives. So it should be a great presentation. Our next virtual lunch and learn is next Friday from 11:30 to 1. For those that don't have a lunch break, It will be on our chapter YouTube channel. So I'll be giving this address to PMI Infinity and beyond. PMI Infinity is your project management tailored Gen AI learning module that's available with your PMI membership. So for those who have used it before, maybe you'll walk away with some new tips and techniques. For those who have never heard of it, it would be a good introduction for any PMs in your office who would like the information. That you don't have to be a member to attend the lunch and learn. We'll follow that up with a free training from PMI Global. So the PM Expo is the all-day PMI Global event where the board of directors, a few keynote speakers will talk. So that's from I think 9 o'clock Eastern till 3 or 3:30. There's a couple breakout sessions. So you have up to 7 PDUs on that day, and then on-demand access. I think it can boost up to 12, and it's free. So that's in the last couple of newsletters, and it'll continue to be boosted until game day. So again, keep tabs on our calendar. Not only are we putting our chapter events, but also our sister chapter events. If there's vendor industry events, the big tech companies like Salesforce and ServiceNow, AWS have showcases that are free. It's a good opportunity to get a free lunch as well. And with most of us return to work, free lunch is more attractive than it probably was a few months ago. Okay, we know these are challenging times right now for the county. Even before some of our federal workforce was looked at for efficiency, we had Marriott headquarters in Bethesda have some mass layoffs near the holiday season. We are committed to being a resource. We have some resume workshops and job fairs planned for the spring once we get more in the heart of spring. But does anyone have a job or need a job and wants to come up on the mic and either give an elevator speech for themselves, or if they're a hiring manager, speak about the needs that they have? Sure. Thanks.
If anybody's looking for a program manager in people engagement, HR, any of those types of areas, working with people with disabilities, intellectual or developmental or physical disabilities, neurodevelopment, anything like that, program managers, let me know. I've got a resume here for someone looking who was at NIH.
Anyone else? Oh, sure.
Thank you. Hi, my name is Ben Bajaj, and I do a lot of agile project management through the project management office. You know, the different hats that I wear for application modernization, business process reengineering, requirements writing. So if anybody is looking to either modernize their applications or even implement some infrastructure services, you can look me up at LinkedIn or just tap me when the program ends. Thank you.
Sure, and Dr. Jones, thank you.
Hello, hello, hello. I just got an email from Nando's Piri Piri. I don't know if you guys know that or not. Have you heard of it? Federal workers, current and recently laid off, free quarter chicken and chips tomorrow. I'm sorry, March 7th from 2 to 5. Present current federal ID or proof of termination. So if you're still hungry after eating this fabulous meal.
Okay, now it'll be time for a raffle. for those who were with us in October for our 2-day symposium. Our day one keynote, Dr. Todd Cashton, presented on the Art of Insubordination, his bestseller from 2022. Because of him waiving his speaking fee generously, we still have some books, so we'll be raffling 2 of those off. So you should have received a ticket when you came in. So those winners, last 3 is 341, yay, and 316. Okay, and if you already have the copy of the book because you were at the symposium, feel free to give it to table mate. Hey, Karen.
Yeah. 316.
I trust you. If we can't trust project managers, who can we trust? So congratulations to our winners. Okay, need PDUs. We're one of the few chapters that post the majority of our meetings where speakers are comfortable on our YouTube channel for on-demand access with claim codes. So for those who are still teleworking and need some background noise, this is a good opportunity. And thank you again to all of our speakers since the pandemic started in 2020, because we date back to that. And then we're also one of the few chapters that have simulcasts, so hopefully the experience is good for our virtual attendees. Okay, we're also one of the few chapters in the world that have a sister Toastmasters group, and we have representation from our Montgomery County Toastmasters team. So we'll invite them up to give a quick recruiting plug. Round of applause for them.
Good evening. So I am the current president of the PMI Toastmasters chapter, and we have our meeting coming up next week. We meet on the 2nd and 4th Wednesday of the month online on Zoom, and in person on the 3rd Wednesday at Davis Library. And with that, I just want to invite up Ruby and Alan to talk about maybe a little bit of their experience with Toastmasters. Alan recently competed in the Toastmasters spring contest and is our winner for the spring contest. And so I'd love for him to talk about his experience there. And then Ruby is one of our newest members who came kind of through this chapter here into Toastmasters. And so I kind of wanted her to talk about her journey coming from the meetings here into Toastmasters and becoming a member. So I'll start off with Alan.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Alan Jung. I joined Toastmaster to conquer my fear of public speech. I cannot claim that I have achieved my goal, but I have competed twice in this Toastmaster international contest. So if I can do it, anyone can do it. We are looking forward to seeing some of you in our next meeting. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Ruby Bradley Kane. I think a lot of you guys, but I joined Toastmasters years ago. And I rejoined because I want to continue to improve my communication and surround myself with like-minded people. I like the chapter here, so I decided to join the Toastmasters PMI. I just finished my icebreaker speech, which was about you introduce yourself to the chapter by telling something about yourself. There's a limit, there's a time limit, 4 to 6 minutes, I think it is. And I came in at 5 minutes, I think so. So if you guys are looking for an opportunity to be around good people, improve your communications, the Toastmaster PMI chapter is a place to be. So thank you.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Ruby. And with that, if anyone has any questions or is interested, just come see us and we can give you more information.
And thanks again to our friends with the Toastmasters group. Our sister chapters are doing good things. PMI-WDC has a few virtual options the rest of the month. The first one is Monday the 17th, which is also St. Patrick's Day, of fundamentals and applications of system thinking and project management. PMI Baltimore has gone through some leadership transition, but they have monthly networking events on the books. So in Columbia, 2 Thursdays from now, there'll be a free event. I'm not sure if it comes with a free drink, but at least it'll be good networking. And then former board member here, Hector Del Castillo, with the Silver Spring chapter, has a presentation next Wednesday on further proof for your PM career. And as a lot of us are looking at our resumes and saying, would this be attractive if worst case scenario, you had to leave your position, this will be a good talk. So overall, our education partners are continuing to do great things, so keep an eye out on our calendar for them. And then we're over the moon, happy to have Miss Monica Wack with us this evening. So she's the owner and chief evangelist of Innovative Brand Management, a great philanthropist in the Maryland area on this side of up and down 270 with animal charities. And she's also a proud alum of the Virginia Tech Hokies. So any Virginia Tech grads here? Yay! Okay, so we welcome Monica to the chapter stage for the first time.
Okay, hi everybody. First and foremost, thank you very much for having me. It has been an absolute delight. Do I just go forward and, all right. Okay, so what we're going to be talking about today is marketing to your ideal customer. Now, I understand that there are quite a few government employees in here. You have ideal customers too. And as we go through this, I'll actually point out where it does apply to you guys. So, what we're going to talk about today is understanding that your ideal customer is actually the key to effective marketing and business growth. Okay? When you think about trying to sell something, whether you're selling an idea or whether you're selling a product or service, if you don't understand the person that you're talking to, that you're trying to sell to, you're never going to engage them. So it is one of the most critical aspects of selling your product, service, idea. And that's one of the areas where, as government employees, if you're working on projects, you've got to be able to sell your idea. Okay, so understanding your audience is extremely important. By defining your ideal customer, you can tailor your messaging, your branding, and your marketing so that you can connect on a much, much deeper level. What we're going to talk about today, I'm going to do a quick introduction, then we'll talk about the requirements of what you need as a business, as a project manager of a project, to have predictable, consistent growth. We're going to talk about your brand. We're going to talk about your ideal customer and how to use and create your messaging, and then I'll take some questions. So a little bit about me. I left the corporate world exactly 11 years ago today and started my business. I know, it's my 11th anniversary today. And when I was in the corporate world, I was a tech lead and a web architect. And so projects were my life. When I decided to leave corporate, I wanted to make use of everything that I had learned over a lot of years and still be doing something a little bit different. So I was like, okay, I'm a web architect. Let's make some websites. And that's what I started when I first started my business. But that gets a little bit boring. And the longer I stayed in business, the more that I saw that most small business owners have no idea how to truly market, sell, and support their product or service. And I started just kind of giving advice for free and then realized I'm kind of not in the right business and pivoted and changed my focus to actually doing the things for my customers that I've been doing for free as what my actual business model was. And that's where innovative brand management came from. All right, so enough about me, because I'm boring. Let's talk about what you need, okay? If you are a small business owner, if you are an employee of a corporation that works on projects, if you are a government worker, the 4 things that you must have for consistent, repeatable growth is you have to understand your brand. What are you? Who are you? What are you trying to accomplish? And why are you trying to accomplish it? You got to know who your customer is. You have to know what they want. What are their pain points? What keeps them up at night? Now, you understand yourself, you understand who you're trying to talk to. Great. Now you need to know the tools and tactics that are going to get you where you want to go. And then lastly, and I know project managers love this part, you got to have the actionable metrics. How do you know if you're failing or succeeding at what you're trying to do? So today, because we got an hour, we're going to talk about the first 2. If you want, we can do another talk another night about the other 2. But we're going to focus on understanding your brand and understanding your customers. So what do you guys think the difference is between branding and marketing? Anybody?
Branding is your name or organization, whatever it is you do. Marketing is getting the name out there so people will recognize it. Freedom is the brand. Freedom is out there with all the commercials.
That's a good start. But branding is way more than that. Branding is what somebody thinks when they hear, see, taste, or smell your product or service. What do they think? That's actually your brand. And what actually goes into that is a lot. Personality goes into it. Vision and values. How you position in the marketplace. What attributes are you providing? And what benefits do you provide? All of that factors in. So the first thing, your mission, vision, and values. Basically, that is your what are you doing? Why are you doing it? And how are you going to do it? How are you going to accomplish it? Okay? They want to know, what do you stand for? Why are you in business? What is your most profitable product? And is that your core offering? Why is your product or service needed? What sets you and your product or service apart from your competition? And how does your price compare to the competition? All of that is part of your brand and part of your mission, vision, and values. So here's a sample for a company. Their mission is this is the Parent Resource Center. Their mission is to create a compassionate society in which all children are afforded the opportunity to thrive without barriers to the resources they need, and parents supported with the information to empower them to advocate for their child. We connect, support, and empower parents of children with disabilities. Now, from that mission statement, do you understand what they're trying to do? All right. Their vision. The Parent Resource Center will be an innovative, inspiring, and integral partner that makes a positive difference in the lives of children by providing parents with a reliable network of support services for mental health and growth, physical, psychological, and intellectual disabilities, academic advancement, and human services. Does that tell you what they're going to do? And then their values. They value inclusion. All individuals are valued and treated equally. They value respect. All individuals are treated with dignity and compassion. Relationships. We endeavor to have authentic relationships among partners, volunteers, participants, and our community. And lastly, education. Knowledge is power, and with power, there is action so that we can all move forward. Now, one thing I will point out is a lot of mission, vision, and values throw a couple of keywords out there, but the thing that they always forget is to tell you why. Why is inclusion important? Why is respect important? You also have to communicate the why, okay? So here, you know what they want to do, how they want to do it, and why they're doing it. They tell you all of it. Hello, we went bye-bye. Okay, while we're waiting for that to come back up, the next thing is personality. Just like humans have personality. So Carl Jung, who is a psychiatrist from the early 20th century, postulated that every person could be broken down, their behavior could be broken down into a particular category of behavior. And then in 2001, a couple of marketers wrote a book that further postulated that you could take and apply that to brands. And brands could be broken down into one of 12 archetypes. And those archetypes are representative of human behavior. So, for example, you have the outlaw. The outlaw is somebody, is a company, a brand that breaks the rules, that is edgy, that doesn't want to be like anybody else. Think of, can you think of an outlaw brand? Red Bull can be, yeah. They also sometimes are a little bit on the comedic side. Harley Davidson is a big one. Harley, huh? He is definitely a brand. Yeah. He's not a good name to talk about in a room full of government employees right now, I think. So I might just skirt right around that one. How about the caregiver brand? They're one of my favorites. The caregiver focuses on care for others. A lot of nonprofits are caregivers. Now, one of the surprising ones that's a caregiver is Campbell's Soup. So I'm going to age myself here, but about 30 years ago, Campbell's came out with, for their tomato soup, they came out with a commercial. The snowman comes toddling into the house and sits down at the table. Mom comes, puts down a bowl of tomato soup. The snowman starts eating the tomato soup and starts melting, and you see the little boy. What Campbell's did is they talked to moms and they said, buy our soup because you can show your family how much you love them and take care of them. Now, if you think about that commercial, Campbell's tomato soup also tries to appeal to people who are on diets. Now, the mom who's dieting sees that commercial, or let's say her kids are grown. She sees that commercial, she does not think about tomato soup for herself for dieting. But Campbell's Soup then does a commercial that's aimed directly at that mom that says, eat our soup and you'll lose weight. All of a sudden, she's paying attention. Okay? So personality, these archetypes are extremely important for understanding your brand. How do you identify what your archetype is? Well, the innocent looks for safety and happiness. And if you were to think about your brand on a scale of 0 to 100, how important do you think safety and happiness is? The sage is looking for wisdom and truth and providing an education. Is your brand trying to do that? The explorer, freedom and adventure. The outlaw, they're revolutionary and risk-taking. The magician wants to alter reality and be seen as charismatic. Disney World, very good at that. The hero, oh, they want to change the world. They want to be courageous. They're going to save everybody. Now, here's the key. If you're a hero brand, that is. If you're a hero brand, you're not the hero. Your customer is. Your job as the hero brand is to make your customer the hero so that they are the ones that are winning the day. If you're the hero, they may not care to buy you. You're making them the hero, they're going to buy. The lover, all about intimacy and sensuality. Think about Dove chocolate commercials. The jester. I like the jester. Not many businesses are the jester, though. Old Spice, they're a jester. Think about their entire marketing plan that has the guy who is like manly man, and then wife or mother-in-law, depending upon the commercial, comes in and says, no, it's mine. They're like, but Old Spice, mine. And they're scared of the mother-in-law. Yeah, love them. The everyman. The everyman is all about being part of the whole. I'm no different than you. Together we change the world. The caregiver, help for others and service to others. The ruler is all about prosperity. The ruler is about being the king. Think Rolls Royce. Probably BMW, a lot of the luxury items, the Swiss watch, I forget their name. I was trying to remember their name. The creator. The creator is all about being innovative and creating something new that never existed. Those are your brand archetypes. Uh-huh. Depends upon the ideal customer and how many ideal customers you have. So normally you have a primary and often a secondary. If you start seeing a brand that has too many archetypes, they're not real sure what it is they're doing. Okay, they have not done a good job at their vision, mission, and values. And more than likely, they're trying to combine multiple brands into one. I see that a lot. A company doesn't have to have just one brand. So how can brand personality be a product differentiator? Think of gyms, okay? Think of curves and think of soldier fit. The person who's going to go to curves is probably going to look like me. Seriously, you ain't going to find me in soldier fit. But curves, maybe. The person who's going to go to soldier fit is going to be like, yeah, no, curves, really? I want to work out. I don't want to listen to, poetic music and pretend I'm working out. That's going to be the soldier fit view. Soldier fit is all about the, talk mean to me. Okay, so think about who your customer is when you're also thinking about what your brand personality is. Who do you want to serve? So that leads us right into the ideal customer. So quick talk here. Especially for project managers, customer means a lot of things. So when in the corporate world, you have customers and you have clients, okay? Customers tend to buy products. Clients tend to buy service and solutions, okay? With clients, you're frequently creating a much closer bond and a relationship with them. With products, they may buy you one time and never again. Or they may be regular customers, but you don't really build a personal bond with them. Okay? Now, when we also get into project management and government, your customer may not be somebody that you're selling to for money, but who is your stakeholder? Who cares about this, that you're trying to provide something that's going to fix a pain point for them? That's your customer. And when I talk about an ideal customer, I am not talking customer versus client. I am talking just in general, okay? I did it again. Geez, I'm not good with this. Ha, there we go. I recovered. Okay, so how many of you have heard of a customer value journey? Okay, do you know why a customer value journey is important? Okay, the purpose of a customer value journey is to take that prospect from never having heard of you to being your brand ambassador, to being the person who is out there going, oh, I got a guy, you got to go over here. Or, oh my goodness, have you tried this product? Okay. You want to get them from that point of never having heard of you to being the brand ambassador. And along the way, you are going to cover marketing, sales, and customer service. Okay. So when I tell people I'm a brand manager, the first thing they do is go, oh, you're in marketing. That's one of the things I do. But when it comes right down to it, branding is anything that affects how the public sees your product or service. And the public includes your employees. Okay? It is also what your employees think. Remember back when I said your brand is what somebody thinks about your product or service when they see, hear, taste, touch, or smell. And you may wonder why I keep putting all of those things in. Think about back in the 70s. If I put a blindfold on you and I handed you a bottle of Coke, would you know what it was? Think about back when we actually used to go to the mall and you would walk within 100 yards of the food court and you'd start smelling butter and cinnamon. Cinnabon. Okay? So all of your senses affect your branding, or at least have the possibility of affecting it. So why is it important? Because the customer value journey delivers a predictable flow of customers from start to finish. It helps you align your business objectives across every department. Okay? One of the, from what I remember of corporate life, one of the banes of the existence of the project managers was the fact that not everybody understood the product. Sometimes the developers would call it one thing and say that the purpose of it was this. The product owner would call it something else. The director, the stakeholder, had a totally different thought of what it was going to be. And it was the project manager's job to make all of them see it the same. So customer value journey helps you align those business objectives across all of the departments. It also helps align the customer's interests with the company's interests. Because the goal is actually to be successful, not just to make a sale, right? And it establishes a shared vocabulary. So everybody calls everything the same thing. What a lead means to me may not be what a lead means to you. This makes them all the same. So you have your customer value journey. How do you learn about your customer? The way you do that is by creating a customer avatar. And a customer avatar is a detailed, supposedly fictional, although the more fictional you make it, the less accurate it gets. But it is a detailed fictional representation of your ideal customer. So your ideal customer, if you had 1 million of these people, you'd never have to work another day in your life. You could sell your company and retire. Okay? You could sell to them over and over and over and over and over again. That's your ideal customer. Okay? And the customer avatar outlines all of the information that you need to know about them, their demographics, their motivations, their pain points, why they behave the way that they do. And it when you understand your customer avatar and you understand your customer, it allows you to target your marketing. So in the olden days, marketing was known as what you could call spray and pray. Okay? Throw it out there and hopefully somebody will pick up what you're putting down. Just make sure your name is out there as many times as it can be. And that was the way marketing was done. Okay? Then they started thinking about the psychology behind why people do things. And a lot of those marketing people said, you know, there's a reason people buy what they buy. Do you understand what it is? Well, no. Well, maybe if we learn why they do what they do, we can make them buy what we want to sell them. Okay, that sounds great. Can you make me rich? Maybe. Okay. And so they started looking at the psychology. They started looking at the archetypes, because not only are there archetypes for the brand, there's archetypes for the customer. And if you understand your customer, you can talk right to them. And guess what? When you talk to them, they go, oh, they're talking to me. And they buy. Okay? So you can do targeted marketing. You can do better content. You can optimize your product. You can have efficient resource allocation. And you can improve customer acquisition. Big word for get more people to buy. So go through a customer avatar, and I know you guys can't see the detail on this, but all you need to really see are the main categories up here. So we have biography. That talks about, this is actually, so the example that I used for the vision, mission, and values, this is a customer avatar for that company, okay? They have two primary ideal customers. One is the family with a disabled child, and the other are all of the community partners that provide services for families with children with disabilities. Okay, so this is the mom. Jessica is a parent of a special needs child. She's a mother of 3 children, a typical 13-year-old boy, a typical 10-year-old girl, and an 8-year-old son with special needs. She gets up early every day to prepare medicine and perform minor medical surgeries. These are a part of her day every day. They don't take breaks or holidays. Her children, especially her special needs son, needs her every day. These early mornings often come with sleepless nights. She pushes through brain fog and exhaustion on a regular basis because she has to. She has to be consistent no matter what. Her child's life depends on it. Her calendar is filled with appointments, school, doctors, therapists, and more. And she's a professional parent and takes her role seriously. She has researched, she has fought, she has begged, she's researched more and spent untold hours and dollars to satisfy her child's needs. She also has to work a 40-hour-a-week job to ensure the family has the money that they need. It talks about her personality, you know, where is she on a creative to analytical scale? Is she messy or organized? Is she passive or is she active? All of these things are important. What are her goals and objectives? As a parent with a special needs child, what is she trying to accomplish? She wants resources for her child. She wants guidance on navigating processes to get the resources. She wants improved education and an improved future for her child. And she wants more support. What social networks is she on? What are her skills? What are her media preferences? She likes to advocate organizations such as Autism Speaks. She's on Facebook groups for parents with special needs children. the ARC of Frederick County. She's part of the Special Needs Alliance and the Maryland Family Network. What are her motivations? Jessica is motivated by a complex mix of emotions, responsibilities, and desires for her child's well-being. Like any parent, her primary motivation is love. She is deeply invested in her children's happiness and success, regardless of their challenges. She's become a fierce advocate for her special needs son, and she fights for his rights, getting him access to the appropriate education, healthcare, and inclusion in society. She seeks to create a more inclusive and understanding world for her son and for others like him. And she has a strong sense of duty towards her son, and she recognizes the unique care and support that he requires. This sense of responsibility can be a powerful motivator to ensure his needs are met. Development, seeking out therapies, intervention, and resources to help her son reach his full potential. So frustrations, I'm not going to read all of this. But what are Jessica's frustrations? She's got a lot of them. She finds it challenging to navigate through complex bureaucratic systems, including healthcare, education, social services, and more. It goes on. The costs associated with raising her special needs. She feels isolated. She feels that she's juggling the needs of her special needs sons and those of her other children. She worries about what the future holds for her son. What are her challenges and objectives? Jessica has been researching, advocating, and fighting for her child for so long, she often feels that she knows more than the experts. And sadly, she often does. This has led her to viewing new opportunities with skepticism, because if an answer or a fix existed, she would have already found it. She's often has to prioritize her spending for her family. The things that her son needs means that her other children don't get some of the things they need. She has to evaluate everything that is brought into the house for safety, for cost. She didn't have any spare time, and she needs answers yesterday. So what are the triggering events? Yeah.
How many personas or elements in just if you attach those parameters given to accounts of variations of the element? So how deep do you?
Okay, so how many avatars do you need? That depends. And so like for this particular client, she's got 2, okay? But if you're a gym, you may have 5. It depends upon who you're trying to reach. And remember, the more people you're trying to reach, start thinking, are you merging too many brands into one? Okay? Because there really isn't a set number that you can have, but every single customer avatar that you add, you're adding a marketing stream. Okay? Because the messaging to one is not the messaging to another. So a lot of things weigh into that. You may have plenty of people that you would like to do customer avatars to and you'd like to target to, but it's not fiscally responsible to do so. It just depends on the product or service. So triggering events. A triggering event is something that causes your ideal customer to consider purchasing. And keep in mind, purchasing may not be with money. It may be with time, or it may be with corporate resources and the sphere of project management, okay? Triggering events fall into one of 2 categories. They can occur seasonally or be some sort of a recurring type of thing. Think of taxes. You need a tax preparer every dang year, but you're probably not thinking about who's going to do your taxes in November. Okay. So you can have a seasonal or recurring. So for Jessica, her seasonal and recurring is a need for therapy, needs for medical supplies, specialized equipment, educational materials, medications, specialized clothing, respite care, recreational activities. These are all seasonal or recurring items. The other kind that you can have is experiential. Something has changed, something has occurred, and now you need something. You have a new pain point. Experiential, in this case, a diagnosis. When her son was born, she got a diagnosis. Or when he didn't learn to crawl, or when he didn't learn to talk. Okay? Medical emergencies, medical or therapeutic recommendations, changes in care needs, sibling dynamics. They're all teenagers now. All of a sudden, things are a little different for her special needs son. Community support programs, technological advancements, transition periods, financial strain, educational needs. These are all examples of something changing. Yeah, okay, go that way. So then, how do you engage with Jessica? Jessica's an educated consumer. She does her research and knows her options. Engaging Jessica requires a thoughtful and sensitive approach. Show empathy and understanding towards her challenges and needs. Use language that is respectful, inclusive, and free of stigmatization. So, for example, you don't refer to her child as retarded. He is differently abled. He is a child with special needs. Okay? Provide educational resources and information about the services in a clear and accessible manner. Build trust. Be transparent, genuine, and authentic. Share stories and testimonials. Ensure that your marketing material, website, and communication channels are accessible to parents with different abilities and needs. This may include providing alternative formats such as audio descriptions or text-to-speech options. Maybe it's a genetic issue and the child inherited deafness from the parents. So you may need to be more inclusive for the parent too. Okay, so we created an ideal customer. We know our brand and we understand what our archetype is. We understand the archetype for our customer. Now what? Okay. Now you start looking at before and after states. You do story branding. You look at how to engage. You do messaging strategy, brand positioning, and ultimately you end up with a long form narrative. Okay. Oh, so the before and after. So are you guys familiar with before and after? Do you want me to go over this? So before and after states are looking at what is Jessica's life like before my product or service, and then what's it like after. Okay, so some examples. Too much time spent searching for resources. And then when she discovers the Parent Resource Center, she has access to trusted resources in one location. Too much money spent on resources that don't work or aren't specialized enough. After, less time spent searching for resources. Not enough time for other family members. More time for other family members. Okay, you get it? All right, we're gonna watch a commercial now where they did an excellent job of analyzing and using the before and after states, in addition to the messaging targeting the archetype. I might have to click. You might have to click.
I have 3 kids and I work from home, so people always ask me how I stay so calm and organized. I'm kidding. Do you think I have time for a bath? I'm fully clothed. I fell in the tub while I was timing my son holding his breath. 26 seconds! Now go fetch Mommy's hairdryer. Motherhood goes by too fast. I haven't slept more than 4 hours in 12 years. My diet consists of the protein bars and pita chips I inhale in the dark in my pantry. And my children are growing like weeds, but I barely have enough time to keep them alive, let alone print pictures of them. Because here's the problem. What the fork? Making photo books sucks.
It sucks.
Don't say suck. They're designed for moms with lots of free time. Imaginary moms. What?
A hedgehog.
Really? Formatting them takes hours. It may push some buttons. In the end, they easily cost $50. So when Sarah does something adorable, I have to say, that's cute, but not $50 cute. But at least scrapbooking's great if you have no job or no kids, so not great. Jeffrey, put down the crossbow. I am so tired. Don't get me wrong, I love Instagram, but my kids never see our photos. They refuse to follow me. Hi, Jeffrey! You're doing great! But now there's a solution I do have time for because it takes no time. Introducing Chatbooks, the app that automatically creates quality photo books from your phone. Chatbooks is shockingly easy because you already did the work when you took the photos. Chatbooks creates and ships a photo book to you every time you add 60 photos to Instagram, Facebook, or your phone favorites. It even includes the original dates and captions. It's like getting a magazine subscription to your own life. Thank you.
Why is Dad wearing a dress?
Okay, that's me. All right, the short hair was a mistake, okay? Unlike a photo book site, the Chatbooks app takes only 30 seconds to set up, and you do it once. 30 seconds to record the lives of your kids. Technically, that's less time than it actually took to make the kids.
How do you make kids?
What?
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 So if you love your kids, or think you someday might, click the install button here, or search Chatbooks in the App Store or Google Play to install the Chatbooks app today. What's awesome is your Chatbooks require 0 formatting. And if you're saying no formatting, that's the only reason I do photo books, then this isn't for you, freak mom. These books are already beautifully designed. Did you do it? Do we get to do the potty dance?
No!
Plus, these Chatbooks cost just $8. That's what you'd pay for a day's worth of diapers, except you fill Chatbooks with the kind of crap you care about. How about...
Go away! Mush!
Then your photo books won't just be for special occasions. They'll be for all the quirky daily stuff you and your family care about. Yes, it's that easy. It really prints and ships your photo books without you having to lift a finger. Thank you. Jeffrey, get off the roof.
Okay.
Every time a Chatbook is shipped, you'll be notified with enough time to edit your order. And if you're not satisfied, you can always get your money back with our Love Chatbooks guarantee. That was really stupid. Chatbooks are made with the same paper and ink as photo books 5 times their price. So you can spend the savings on your little thumb suckers.
Suck!
Don't say suck. My family's life is insane. And I want to hold on to every single freaking stupid, stressful, beautiful moment. And now I can. You can install Chatbooks directly from this video. Click the install button here. Or tap the screen once and click the visit advertiser link here. Chatbooks, live your life and let Chatbooks print it. Oh, hi there. This is an actual bubble bath since Chatbooks gave me the time for them. In fact, I'm ordering one now. And I'm done. I did not think that through.
I love that one. So, her before and after. She has thousands of pics stuck in a phone. Her after is a magazine of her own life. She feels overwhelmed, frustrated, and tired. Afterwards, she feels accomplished. Her average day is chaos mixed with cute moments. After, still chaotic, but cute moments are remembered. Her status, she is a frazzle mom everybody pities. After, scrapbooking supermom. The good versus evil. Life is moving too fast. It's just evil moves too fast. And the good after. She's able to slow life down a little bit. Now, can you tell me who the ideal customer is for Chatbook? Can you tell me what their archetype is? Huh? The frazzled mom is definitely their ideal customer. What about their archetype? What is their brand archetype? Huh? It's a jester. Secondary is the caregiver. But yes, they focused on gesture, they focused on humor. But see, you didn't know that before, did you? Yeah, it's a dark, deep hole. Now you're going to start looking at commercials going, who are they talking to? Okay, so the story branding, what is their problem? What are they dealing with? How does it make them feel? And the philosophical, and that's not fair because. So back to Jessica, it's challenging to navigate through complex bureaucratic systems, including healthcare, education, social services, to get the support my son needs, which makes her feel frustrated. There should be a better way. And that's not fair because it's taking too much of her time and it's inefficient. So the story branding helps you lay out what your ideal customer's problems are and how it makes them feel and why it's not fair so that you can now address it with your messaging. And we talked about how to engage Jessica, so I'm not going to read that one again. So the messaging strategy. The messaging strategy will relay your brand story consistently across all channels to your target audience and represented by Jessica. Having a solid messaging strategy is key to grabbing Jessica's attention and keeping her engaged throughout the entire customer journey. The messaging strategy will differentiate you from your competition, and it will add Jessica's pain points and will tell your brand story. So brand positioning statement. The brand positioning statement is a very concise declaration that communicates the unique value and distinctiveness of the Parent Resource Center brand to the target market. Okay? It exemplifies everything for Jessica. Okay? It encapsulates the Parent Resources Center essence, their vision, mission, and values. Why are they doing this? Who are they doing it for? And how are they going to get there? So, their brand positioning statement is they are a trusted resource. The Parent Resource Center creates compassionate society in which all children are afforded the opportunity to thrive without barriers to the resources they need, and parents receive unwavering support and comprehensive information to empower them to advocate for their child. We connect, support, and empower parents to navigate the unique challenges of parenting special needs children, fostering resilience, confidence, and well-being for both parents and families. Now, before you even get to a narrative, can you imagine if Jessica read that? Would she feel that that message talked to her? And here you have long form narrative copy. If anybody's interested, happy to give it to you. But basically, this is what you then pull out of all of those elements that we have talked about. And you can now take this long form narrative, break it down into social media messages, 1 or 2 sentences long. You can do a full commercial off of this. Anything that you need. base it on the long form narrative that you've got here. And that's it. So question time. Did I bore you all to tears and y'all fell asleep? Okay.
Around this, how hard is it to get them to understand the structure of what you're trying to create? How much education do you have to give them of this framework before you can actually release it?
Okay, so the question is, how much education do I have to give to my prospective clients before they truly understand this? And the answer to that is, if I try and educate them, they don't listen. So what I do is I ask them a lot of questions. I do a 2-hour session where I ask them, why are you doing what you're doing? Why did you start this business? And through all of the questions that I ask them, and all of the times they go, oh no, they start going, uh-oh. And then they listen. And then you can start to educate. But before that, they think they know. They've been in business a while. And most of the time, they're fairly successful. So they don't think that there's anything that they need to learn. And if I do my questions with them and they know all the answers, then maybe they don't need me. And then I just tell them, okay, well, I see that you're a little low here on this area of the customer value journey. Maybe you just want to, kick it up a little there. And I have had a couple where it really has just been, a touchstone of making sure they were on the right track. But most of the time, at least half of my questions, the answer is, I don't know. Any other questions?
So if a product has more than one avatar, you have a way to score them or value them to see which way you go to blind.
Okay, so the question there is, if a brand has more than one avatar, do I have a way of scoring them to see which way they should go? And that comes down to the strategy that we put in place and what are the goals that the company is trying to reach. So they may have 5 different possible avatars for a particular product or service, but the company's goals don't align with 3 of them. So great, have them documented. Maybe 3 years from now, the goals are, okay, let's go after that market now. Because every single avatar that you have is a full marketing campaign. And it is a full sales channel and customer support level. So if you're not ready to do all 3 for that particular avatar, then you start with the ones that you are. And you make your goals. And that's also a really good way, because a lot of times organizations, because government's in this too, a lot of times organizations don't realize why they made the goals that they made. And the goals that they made had nothing to do with the success or failure of the business. They made goals based upon what somebody at a director level saw somebody present and said, oh, let's go do that. And a lot of times it doesn't trickle down to what the worker level of the company or organization is doing. And if you start looking at the branding side of things, all of a sudden your entire strategic plans are changing and things start aligning. Any other questions? Matt?
Recommendations for how a company can coach their client. So being federal government, I see a lot of service integrators that regardless of like, we say, hey, we need, A and B, they're so stuck in C, D, and E that they can't adapt to giving A and B, even though that's the real requirement. So,
Okay, so if I understand the question correctly, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, how do you get your C levels or your director levels or your, E10 levels or, I10, E10. I'm sorry, I'm not government. But your high number people, how do you get them to buy in on this? And the answer to that is when it's time to do goal planning and it is time to do strategy, you bring up trying to think of a polite way of saying it. You bring up the lack of connection between what projects you're working on and the goals of the company. And it would be good to bring in somebody to do brand strategy to align them. And when they go, what do you mean? That does not make sense to me. Then you bring up who are we trying to sell this to? Why are we trying to sell it to them? How are we selling it to them? And you start asking all the questions. And when they go, I don't know, that's your job. You go, okay, it's my job and this is how we do it.
Wind up getting a promotion, hopefully.
Hopefully. Any other questions? Yes.
Hopefully puts around most people. They will take how did they get to be so synonymous with the product, with the name, from their branding?
So the question was, when you have companies or brands like Kleenex or Clorox or Coke, where people don't say, can I have a tissue? Where's the cleaner? Can I have a soda? They use the brand name. How did they get there? Psychology. They started investing in the psychology of why people buy and started targeting messages to those people. And it became ingrained. So I've said this a couple of times now, but what is a brand? What is a brand? It is what people think, what they believe, what they feel when they see, hear, taste, touch, smell your product or service. And what it is they became so ingrained that this is the product that fulfills my needs to so many people that they are now synonymous with what the product is.
We had one question on Zoom. If the customer is one type, but you have to work through an intermediary who has very different desires and goals, what's your advice? And the example that she provided was customers wants a lot of throughput, intermediate wants lots of predicting and counting that slows down that throughput velocity. Thank you.
Okay, so that question was, if you're in a situation where the customer has one archetype and set of needs, but there's an intermediary who has a completely different set of needs and wants and desires, how do you address that? They become two different customers. The intermediary is also a customer. And then when you are documenting this to the higher ups. The higher ups are the ones that are determining which direction the funding is going to go to make something happen. All of a sudden, that intermediary is suddenly less important. Now, depending upon what it is the intermediary wants, because in this particular example, the intermediary wanted a lot of metrics, analytics, and an explanation. Those actually are things that should be built in, because all the way back at the beginning, there's 4 legs to the stool of consistent, repetitive growth. One is the brand, one is the customer, but the other 2, which I did not spend time talking about tonight, are tools and tactics. How are you going to get it done? And the last one are the metrics. How are you measuring success and failure? Those 2 are just as important as the customer and the brand. Yes?
Data broker market, how as a company that aren't in that market supplying data as a revenue stream that they collect off of their customers who agree to send data back through if it's a good, like smart something of it, or buying data to help validation of clustering of an archetype that, yeah, there's actually proof in the market that the people who meet this profile because they're left this usually does stuff. So
There are a lot of ways of coming up with the data for creating your ideal customer avatars. And some of those ways are through data that has been previously collected. It is through doing focus groups or talking to your existing customers or talking to the people that work with your existing customers. It really, it kind of depends on what the product or service is as to the appropriate way of gathering the data to create the ideal customer avatar. Did that answer your question? Not really.
Stories about being a person who either adds to the broker, what the broker brokes, or someone buys brokers.
I have not bought data from a broker, more because of my own personal prejudices than for anything else, because I do marketing a little bit differently than most marketers, and it drives me crazy to have my name and my information out all over the place. And so I don't do it to anybody else, but that's my own prejudice. But I can tell you about participating and doing focus groups a lot. I personally want the people that I'm talking to know and to approve of what I'm doing as opposed to buying it from a service. But that's my own prejudice.
I have a question about focus groups. How would you leverage focus groups when you're not necessarily trying to sell a product, but you're trying to build public trust?
Doesn't matter whether you're selling a product or service, because you still have something you're trying to create for somebody who's got a pain point. So absolutely, if a focus group is appropriate for the problem you're trying to solve, if a focus group is an appropriate way of gathering data to the answers you need, I'm all for it. Focus groups are great. The only thing I will say about focus groups is sometimes people give you the answers they think you want rather than the truth. Anybody else? All right. Thank you very much, guys. I hope I did not bore you too much.
Okay, thanks to Monica. Thanks for a great programs team for recruiting her, and thank you so much for the time for your preparation and presentation. So we're up against 9 o'clock. Thank you for being members. We'll see everybody hopefully either one of the two hybrid ways Wednesday, April 2nd. Safe travels home and just continue to wake up and try to be as positive as you can. Thank you.